Estate planning, why is it so scary? Why people procrastinate on such an important aspect of life, otherwise known as kicking the can straight down the road? Why do we put this off?
Well, you know, people don't like to talk about death. Now, here's what I found out. You know, they don't know who to talk to, they don't know where to start, and they're scared of the cost.
Don't want to think about it, yeah.
And you know, I don't blame them. I mean, talking about things you're not familiar with, like all this legalese and all this stuff, the legalese, right? Everybody's afraid of that. Very few people like to talk about death. I'd rather talk about passing on or kicking the bucket, pushing up daisies.
All these terms
Anything.
for death.
But when I die, I want this to happen. And you know, a lot of people think, you know, if I start talking about it, it's gonna happen. I'm gonna kick the bucket, you know.
Well, nobody makes it out alive, so you better start kind of sort of thinking about it.
It's an emotional thing that causes people to procrastinate, which means you just don't get your affairs in order. So, I mean, that's a major problem for your kids or your grandkids or people like that. Your stuff will be stuck, it'll be hard to navigate, it'll be hard to distribute. And if we can alleviate all of that, that's what we want to do while we're alive. That's what I would want to do.
Well, sure, and you said that some people are afraid of the cost of it, but think of the cost if you don't do it.
Well, absolutely.
That could be a real mess.
There is a cost. We all have a plan. It's called probate. They can decide where our stuff goes, and they'll pretty much follow the bloodline, but anybody can dispute it. It's public information. Your stuff's just out there for everybody to see. So if you don't want that, just a little bit of time, you can put everything together and you can move on. A lot of people are fearing losing control of their assets. You know, I feel pretty good. I don't want to give my kids all my stuff right now. Well, I don't either. But if I could design a plan that's going to transfer those assets at any given point in time, if my health deteriorates, if I become incapacitated or something happens, and still be in control until that point, that kind of puts you in the driver's seat.
Sure it does.
But you can't do it by going through probate. You can't do it with a will.
Right.
You have to do it with a little bit of additional planning.
And talk to your family. You know, let everybody know what your wishes are. There's so many components to this, but it's not that frightening. So
let's talk about dickygorsophobia.
I was hoping you would say that, so I wouldn't have to. What does that mean?
Dickygorsophobia. It's the fear of dealing with a lawyer like Will. I mean, believe me, we know him.
Will's not a scary guy.
He's a good guy. He's here to help.
Yeah.
He's not, you know, he's not frightening in person.
Yet people are scared somehow. They are afraid. They're afraid they're going to get outsmarted. They're going to get dragged into spending money.
What's the
doing
catch?
Something they don't need
How much
to.
is this going to be? What's the? Is it a? You know, do I have to order every little thing to go with this entree, or can I just get a buffet?
A la carte, yeah, whatever, yeah.
Right. So the fear of that, the people fear dealing with things they don't understand and they can't comprehend. Don't worry. You know, they feel unsophisticated. They feel misinformed or uninformed. Well, relate it to air conditioning.
Yeah.
If your air conditioner goes out and you don't know how to fix it, you're going to call a guy.
Yeah, you're over that.
Really? Are you uninformed and unsophisticated about HVAC? Absolutely, I am.
Well, I mean, you know you love it and you know you want it and you're willing to pay anybody to get it back on in a hurry.
But I'm not going to let that prevent me from getting my air.
There you go.
So I'm going to call the guy and get that done. Same way with trust planning.
Yeah.
Those are the things that are important. Family, you mentioned it. Getting the family to say, okay, now who's going to get 10%, who's going to get 90%? How am I going to divide this between all these kids we had? What's going to happen? Who's going to be in charge? Who's not? That's called family dynamics, and all that's got to be worked through. And
it's going to rise to the top at some point, because the family dynamics are going to enter into it.
But the good thing is getting organized before you have to is the key. Now, the 29th, coming up 6 o'clock at my office. I asked Will, we've been working together for quite some time, a little over a year now, and it's like, you know, we need to make an effort to invite people to do the basics. You don't have to have any fear. We're going to have, I don't know, maybe some sweet tea and some cookies, and you're going to get to sit down, ask those questions that you think might be dumb. Don't worry, I've heard it all. I'm not the smartest guy in the world. So you can come sit down You can talk, ask questions, get the breakdown. The 29th at 6 o'clock at my office, 882-1800, and we can get you on the list. We've got room, 25, 30 people, and then if we need to add a night, Will said that's fine, we can do that. But I would recommend people come because Will is very intelligent on how to simply get things done without spending a fortune. That's the whole key.
That's so
I would recommend you give
Will's
that a shot.